Having more fun than a human being should be allowed to have. Rush Limbaugh here meeting and surpassing all audience expectations on a daily basis. Ferris, Fairfield, Connecticut. Great to have you, sir. Hello.
Undeniable Truth of Life, number 24, dittos from the Nutball State.
Well, thank you, sir, very much. I'm happy that you remembered it.
Well, I'd like to repeat it because it ties into the Catholic Church situation, which is one of the topics of the day. That feminism was formed so as to provide unattractive women free access to the mainstream of society.
Well, not free, but easier access. Yes, Undeniable Truth of Life, number 24, authored by me, 1986. This one's the one that established me as a great thinker. Feminism was established so as to allow unattractive women easier access to the mainstream. Yes, exactly right. It's borne out every day, just whether or not you've got the courage to admit it. Most people find it very uncomfortable truth of life, which is what makes it a truthful truth.
As are most of the truths today, uncomfortable. But here's how it ties into the discussion of what has happened in the Catholic Church, and I very highly, respectfully disagree with your analysis that it will cost them votes. It will not cost them votes. You used the phrase a few minutes ago, idiot Catholics. And, Rush, nothing could be closer to the truth. And I'm coming from a standpoint of a lifelong baptized Catholic as a child, lived with it, loved it, learned it, and devoured it right up until recently when I became an Amishman. So I understand what's going on in the Catholic Church. And I was
but you know, it's not just Catholics are going to be impacted by this. Muslims are going to be impacted by this. Mormons are going to be impacted. Catholics are not the only ones who have such proscriptions on contraception and abortion.
Well, I speak for the Catholics only, Rush, because I've never been a Muslim, nor a Jew.
Look, I know what you're saying. You're saying, look, you're kind of like liberals, Hollywood liberals, and liberal Jews. They'll sell Israel out in order to maintain primacy of liberalism. So you think there are a lot of dumb Catholics who will vote against their own interests simply because they're liberals first, right?
Certainly, but it goes deeper than that. It goes to what you said recently about what you recently revealed about the truth about teachers in the classrooms, and that the truth is that there are not any teachers anymore, with some notable exceptions. There are indoctrinators, and there are people in front of the classroom whose job it is to dumb down the students and indoctrinate them. And the Catholics who are affected by this ruling are in that group. And they have infiltrated the Catholic Church. And again, I speak from my own personal experience at activities during the 2008 election campaign at St. Bernard's Church in Vernon, Connecticut, where went Gene Pitney as a child. And in that reception, as I talked about the evils of Obama to that assembled group, I heard the infiltrators, let's call them people who are covered by Undeniable Truth of Life number 24, the feminists, the militant feminists, who had haircuts that looked a certain way, who stated that they were four square behind Obama, regardless of the fact.
Right. Now I know. Look, it's the same as there are people. I don't know if you are one of them, but there are people who believe that the priesthood has been now infiltrated, compromised, not taken over, but infiltrated by people who actually intend to do it harm. And there are people who believe the Catholic Church, as a target, has been taken over or certainly infiltrated by people who are not Catholic, who are false Catholics with the express purpose of weakening the church or ripping it apart. I know there are a lot of people that believe this. Now, practicing Catholics vote majority Republican. Among Catholics who attend Mass every week, which is required, McCain won 55 to 43, for example. Now, Catholics in name only will vote for Obama, but practicing Catholics, at least according to recent data, don't. Well, they do, but they're a minority, as I say, for McCain 55 to 43. I know it's a touchy area. I know exactly what you're thinking. It's not new. There have been people who have been called weak or sellout, not just Catholics, but every other institution that has a moral code or a strict political code still has people who don't abide by it, don't want to abide by it, but want the title. They want to be able to say, yes, I'm Catholic, but they don't follow it, really. This is going to be true of any institution that there is. But did who not anticipate this? Did they not anticipate the flare up here? No, I think they clearly anticipate. I think they like it. My point is, I think the regime loves irritating people like this. I think they love upsetting the apple cart, and I think they love this show and others having this kind of thing happen on it. I think they relish it. They love taunting. They love taking on the traditions and the institutions. And that's why I think it's funny when Mark Halpern says, well, I weren't prepared for this. Wow, I really got caught here. They didn't get caught doing anything. They're not surprised by this. They've intended to do this since 2009. But even so, even if they are surprised, it's not going to stop them. By definition, these people are authoritarians. They don't care about opposition. If they did, they wouldn't be doing 90% of what they're doing. They don't care about the opposition. I actually think they turn around. They enjoy it. And I don't. That's not so much. I'm not even talking in a political sense here. Sure, there is an element of this that is being done to placate, satisfy, energize the base. There's no question about it. I'm talking about simply in terms of who they are. Yeah, there's no question he's unifying the base. He's in trouble. If they're back down, they're going to do it after Election Day, after Obama's reelected. But they're not. But even this time around, they're not, because he's not going to be reelected again, theoretically. There will be no accountability, be no reason to back down. I mean, do the NAGs back down? The ACLU ever back down? Planned Parenthood ever back down? They don't back down. And look at all the opposition they get. They enjoy it. They love seeing conservatives get upset about this. They just chuckle about it. They get behind closed doors and they laugh about it. Planned Parenthood's already running ads in support of the mandate out there. They love it. Now, the Heritage Foundation, with their blog Morning Bell, they've titled it Obamacare Awakens a Sleeping Giant. It is a rare moment. That's how it begins. It's a rare moment, indeed, when faith denominations of all stripes unite together in common cause. It's rarer still when that cause is a political one with a sole piece of legislation as its principal target. But when that law eviscerates the very foundations of religious liberty in America as protected under the First Amendment, it shouldn't be surprising that Catholics and Jews, charismatic evangelical Christians, and mainline Lutherans alike find common cause in defense of their liberties. Such is the case with the firestorm of opposition to Obamacare and the regime's attack on religious liberty. Here it is again, for those of you just now getting up to speed on this. Under a new Obamacare mandate issued by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, the White House is mandating that many religious employers, with the exception of churches, provide health care coverage for contraception, including abortion-inducing drugs, thereby trampling upon their constitutionally guaranteed free exercise of religion. And it is this mandate that has caused a vehement response in churches and synagogues across the country. We played the soundbite of Bill Donahue, the Catholic League, warned the nation's 70 million Catholics ready to go to war with the regime's dictates, saying it may even take place in the streets. But Heritage points out here that the Catholic Church not alone in its opposition to Obamacare's onslaught against religious freedom. David Addington, Heritage Foundation VP Domestic Economic Policy, details the growing ranks of the faithful who say that the regime has crossed a very dangerous line. The National Association of Evangelicals commented that the HHS rules trample on our most cherished freedoms, set a dangerous precedent. The Union of Orthodox Jewish Congregations of America said, in declining to expand the religious exemption within the health care reform law, the regime has disappointingly failed to respect the needs of religious organizations. Like, who cares what they're saying here? But they're united in this. That's why some people are thinking maybe a turning point has occurred here. And then Heritage does allude to the fact that the regime is beginning to feel the pressure. Yesterday, Sebelius authored an op-ed USA Today defending the regime's actions, claiming a very, very narrow exemption to the mandate is evidence the White House is working to strike the right balance between respecting religious beliefs and increasing women's access to critical preventive health services. Well, you see right there that the regime, Sebelius, Obama, think that the church and the religious institutions are resulting in women being denied access to critical preventive health service, which is an out-and-out lie. Being a Catholic is a choice. You don't have to be one. And if you are one, you can punt. The Catholic Church doesn't have anywhere near the power Obama does. The Catholic Church doesn't have near the power Obama wants. Catholic Church can't deny anybody anything. It's something that the flock have to support and agree with. This is what I've always marveled at, the left's attempt to challenge religious orthodoxy. The church must conform. The church must modernize. The church must realize it's the 21st century. No, not at the church. The church is what it is. If people don't want to follow along, that's their business. It's not the government's business to make any church or any religion modernize, quote unquote, or get with the program or what have you. There is no permissible way the government can do this, according to our Constitution. But the Constitution doesn't matter here, which is really what this is all about. The Constitution doesn't. The regime is simply saying, the hell with the Constitution. We're going to implement this regardless what the Constitution says. But if you don't like the Catholic Church view on abortion, if you don't like their view on contraception, don't be Catholic. If you don't like what the Methodist Church says, if you don't like what you hear in synagogue, don't go. It's as simple as that. But Obama wants you to believe that the church has all these prisoners. Everybody shows up for Mass as a prisoner. They're all wishing the church would modernize and change, but the church being obstinate won't. What they don't tell you is people can get up and leave Mass. They can walk out of there if they don't like it. They don't have to sign up. There are articles of faith. It's theology. This is no place for the government to be. They are taking what are moral and religious beliefs and turning them into totally nothing but political elements. And when it becomes political, then the regime says they can force people to agree with it or not agree with it or what have you. This is an abomination. And the real target of Catholic Church is just the latest springboard. The target here is the Constitution of the United States, pure and simple.